Who is a product owner? What is their role? Who can become a product owner? And how can they become a product owner?
Every product owner does not get the opportunity to define the vision, but they can drive the vision.
In the product owner world, how is that converted into an execution plan?
Prioritization should also get aligned to your customer value. So the what value you're delivering to the customer.
So during the sprint planning meeting, let's say, do people raise their voice saying that, okay, this estimation is not correct? And what does product owner do in those meetings exactly?
Business analyst looks at how and what. However, product owner looks at why and whom. So the key responsibilities can be taken as drive. D stands for...
You mentioned Jira, where product owner and other team members work. Any other tool which be useful for POs? So once somebody has become a product owner, what kind of career paths are possible for product owners?
Love customer's problem, not the solution.
Good morning, good evening. Welcome to a brand new episode of FutureForward, a podcast series by Techcanvass on artificial intelligence, business analysis, and data analytics. Every week, we invite an industry expert to have an in-depth discussion on a topic. Today, we're going to talk about product owner. Who are product owners? What do they do? How do you become a product owner? And what are the career paths of product owners? We're going to talk about all this and much more. To talk about that, we have a special guest today, Mr. Chaitanya Kasturi. He is a product management leader with nearly 14 years of experience in product strategy and agile development, primarily in the financial services sector. Currently, he is an associate director, product manager at TIA India, where he has grown through product owner and manager roles. He is also the vice president of community engagement for the IIBA Mumbai Chapter. Let's talk to Chaitanya. Hi Chaitanya, welcome to the show.
Thanks Abhishek for inviting me to the show, and this is really helpful for all the product folks or the business analysts that you're doing all the series for them. Back then, I was looking for this set of podcast if it can help or I can learn something. I didn't find one, but thanks for the effort that you have started, and thank you for inviting me to this.
Great. So. Tell us a little bit more about yourself and also the community engagement part which you're doing, part of the IIBA Mumbai chapter.
Yes, thanks. So I started my journey as a business analyst. So back then, in like 14 years back, I started as a business analyst. I was a fresh cat that was picked up from a college, then pulled into the organization as a business analyst. Over then, I learned many things. So initially I was doing the nuts and bolts, like doing the requirement gathering, talking to stakeholders, identifying gaps, working with the product owners. I was assisting product owners back then. So that's how I started. But over the period, right, I got to understand that it's not all about backlog management that you have to do. So you have to start thinking, what are you building? Why are you building? And for whom are you building? This curiosity, right, really helped me to scale myself from a business analyst role to a product owner space. So that's how I moved on a very high level to a product owner role. And from then, I have done multiple roles: product owner, product manager. I've done sometimes a scrum master as well, based on the project or the business need. And right now, I am managing product management space at TIA as an associate director, and I have set of product owners who are under me, and we drive certain set of businesses, and we own certain set of businesses right from end to end as a part of it. So that's on my professional side of it. However, I am also part of a IIBA Mumbai chapter. So I am a Vice President Community Engagement at IIBA Mumbai. So what we do is we help all our peer business analysts. So we don't say that if it is only for the business analysts. It's everyone who are part of this business analyst. So the core skill set of a business analyst, right? Whether he's a data analyst, whether he's a business analyst, product owner, product management. So we help them to come together. We give them the platform where we can have. So back then, what happened is we all started our career. We didn't have someone who can guide us. So where we can freely ask certain questions. Either you have to reach out to your manager or certain industry expert if you have any day-to-day problem that is bothering you. So what we started is we started a program called Milab as a part of our community engagement. Milab is we have Milabs Mumbai, Pune, and different locations. What we do is we gather for at least 2 hours. We keep the forum open. We have folks coming right from the grads till the senior leadership level. Everyone sharing their thoughts, or anyone having any problem in their day to day, we help them if we can give them some solution. If they need any help in career guidance, we try to get them the answers there. If we are not able to answer their questions there, we at least try to connect them with the right set of folks so that they get some answer at the end of the day. So that's what we have started as a community engagement. We have started also certain webinars. So we have certain set of webinars that are coming in the pipeline. Yeah, that's how we have started so far on the IIBA Mumbai chapter.
Yeah, so just a message for everyone. IIBA, or International Institute of Business Analysis, a not-for-profit organization helping promote business analysis as a whole. So not only IIBA Mumbai chapter, but IIBA also has chapters in India like Delhi, Hyderabad, Chennai, Bangalore. So if you are an aspiring business analyst or you are into business analysis, then do join these programs. They are very meaningful and very helpful to you in your career. Okay, so now coming back to our podcast. So let's first define who is a product owner. What is their role?
Okay. So let me take some analogy. So let's keep an analogy of a restaurant. Let's take a restaurant. Let's assume we have a 5-star restaurant which has a busy kitchen. Product owner is none other than but the head chef. So head chef is a person who doesn't cook every item that comes to the kitchen as an order, right? There are line chefs who does that. So head chef, the core responsibility is to design the menu. So which is nothing but the vision. So identify the vision or define the vision or drive the vision. Second is prioritization. So when I say prioritization, head chef decides which order should go in first or which should go next. That is nothing but the prioritization. That helps us, or that helps the restaurant to deliver right food at the right time to the customer. So for an example, main course would be delivered once the starters and that are done. It won't be delivered first, then starters at the later. So just an example, just an analogy, so that it makes clear for our listeners. Last but not the least, the end tester or taster, what we can say. So validating what was ordered is being cooked. Does it has the right quality, and it fulfills what customer has asked for. Delivering the value and validating the value is something that I can give you as an analogy. If I just summarize what I just said, so defining the vision, prioritization, validating the work. So these are the high level the roles and responsibilities that a product owner does.
So let's talk about these a little more. Okay. So vision. Okay. So is vision kind of a very high level kind of a statement, or vision basically is a more like an outcome based statement saying this is what you want to achieve?
Okay. So I can just take one example. So let's take Zepto. Right. The vision of Zepto is to deliver groceries in less than 10 minutes. So the vision for them is the speed and the convenience that they have to get.
Correct.
So again, every product owner does not get the opportunity to define the vision, but they can drive the vision. That is the crux there. So if we look at the vision, so for Zepto, right? So 10 minutes delivery is their vision. So whatever decisions that a product owner takes should get aligned to that vision. That is really important. So you need to understand where does your solution fits into the big picture. That is really important. And if is it aligning to the big picture or the vision? Let's say, for an example, Zepto starts delivering refrigerators. Example. So it's not a 10-minute job to deliver a refrigerator. So that is not aligning their vision.
Correct.
Maybe they have to tweak their vision, or they have to start a different entity altogether.
Correct.
So that's how the visions are.
Okay. So vision is then basically broken down into execution cycles, or whatever way you want to define it. So in the product owner world, how is that converted into an execution plan?
Okay. So we have vision. So based on vision, there are certain OKRs, objective key responsibilities, that every organization have. So which might be a kind of a metrics. For an example, again in the Zepto case. So what are the items, or what is the baggage value that I can offer in less than 10 minutes? A rider can't carry more than 20, 30 items, a bike rider, right? You need a couple of riders to carry more than that, or maybe you need a big vehicle to transport that. So what happens is, so first you have to define your goals. What do you want to achieve? How do you want to achieve? What are the parameters that helps you to achieve that goal? So for an example, we need to deliver 10 minutes. If there are items more than 20 or 30, right, they would say that they won't be able to deliver in 10. It would be 20, 25 minutes, because either they need to rely on someone, multiple riders, or single rider. So again, coming back to our questions, we have vision, we are OKRs. So this OKRs, to achieve those OKRs, we have product backlogs. So these backlogs are something built. So for an example, again, Zepto. I'll take some generic examples so that our users can understand what we are talking more. So a user has, ordered, and they want to know where the rider is. They have ordered just now and just wanted to know after 5 minutes that where the rider is. If Zepto doesn't provide the real-time tracking on the app, customer will get anxious. They will start flooding in Zepto with number of queries. Where is my order? They'll start the chat or start calling it. After 10 minutes, even the rider doesn't reach. So that's how the anxious customer will become. So we have to make sure that the backlog has those right set of elements. Real-time tracking, or real-time status of the orders, giving notification if there is a delay due to a traffic, due to rains, etc. So these are really how the vision, OKR, and the product backlog looks like on a very high level.
Yeah. So you mentioned OKR. What is the full form of OKR?
Objective key responsibilities. So there is one objective that needs to be attained through this key responsibilities that we have.
Okay. So you mentioned product backlog. So now at the product backlog level, now the prioritization will come as to what will be delivered first. So prioritization is not just saying first in, first up, right? It's a pretty complicated thing. Like you were giving example of chef, and just thinking that it's not just whether starters will go first, but it will also depend on how faster certain dishes can be made. They cannot be delayed just because they have come in late. So it's a complicated thing.
So again, prioritization should also get aligned to your customer value. So what value you're delivering to the customer. The same chef analogy or the restaurant analogy. So there are certain dishes that can be delivered faster, but that doesn't mean that should go in the order first. So getting the right value delivered at the right time is really the crux there.
Correct.
So for an example, again, I'll take Zepto. It's one of my favorite. Zepto product owner might have multiple, list of product backlogs. For an example, he might have a request from a marketing team where they can say that we have to launch a buy one get one offer. That's one thing. Zepto product owner might also have a defect or an issue from the existing product that is live in production today, saying that the user tracking is not working properly. Third, I'm just taking examples. Third might be he might get a new payment method. So these are certain examples that might exist in a backlog. So PO needs to decide what is the value for each of these items and what will act as very important for me to pick up the next. So we product can wait with a new payment option. So we can't hold the defect there. We have to get the defect done because that is really important. That is the more value that is getting delivered to the customer. Customer is fine with the existing payment options, or he is fine with the existing, buy one get one offers that are there. What is the crux is he should not get anxious there if his order is not getting delivered. So that is what really important at that point in time.
So how does a typical day of a product owner look like?
I would say I would not talk about a day because I won't make justice to it. I'll talk about a sprint. So usually a sprint, the story of the sprint, it has a start point, it has a midpoint, it has an end point. So usually product owners starts the sprints with the sprint planning. So as a part of a sprint planning, what do they do is, they come up with a mission statement for that particular sprint. What are they trying to achieve? So for an example, in the Zepto, coupons are something they want to roll out, easy application of coupons that they wanted to roll out. So product owner should go with a mission, something like this. By the end, I want my users to save money by seamlessly applying these coupons. This is a mission statement for the sprint. For that mission, what are the items that I have to build for that particular sprint is something that I will break down in that sprint, or write as a user stories as a part of that sprint. So that's on a day one, we set the mission. Then then we have day 2 to day 9. So that's most of the day that we have sprint in the sprint. So which includes different activities like stand-ups. So we join stand-ups, we help team answering their queries, we help them to remove roadblocks. For an example, if team is blocked by some other team, let's say the payment gateway is not working and it's something owned by different team. So then we talk to that product owner, get it resolved, make sure we have a clear road ahead. We don't have any roadblocks there. Then we have something called as refinement sessions. So we do kind of a refinement within the teams. We do refinements with our stakeholders. When I talk about stakeholders, we are doing the refinement for the upcoming sprints. This is not the current sprint that we are looking at. So we are making the backlog ready so that we are ahead than the current development team, and we have things ready for them before they start picking those. So that's usually how, and if there are any queries to the team, we try to resolve and, have those conversations. We keep a tap on how the progress is happening. If there are any risk impediments, we need to raise it to the right stakeholders. We do that. So that's usually how our, day 2 to day 9 looks like. Day 10 is where the sprint review happens. Sprint review, product owner should not demo it like a technical product that we are demoing. They should try to have what business case they are trying to solve, or try to explain their stakeholders what problem statements can be solved with this solution. If they narrate story around it, it will be really helpful for stakeholder to accept that feature and understand, okay, if I deliver this, I'll get 10% more benefits, or my adoption rate would be more. So if we try to map those values to the demos that we are doing, that will really help. So, and last but not the least, we have sprint retros. What we do is, what what can be done better, what we have done in this sprint can be done in a better way, or what are the learnings that we have done, we have to gain from this sprint. So that's how the typical sprint week looks like a product owner.
So you were talking about 10-day sprint.
Yes.
Okay. So it could be
it
one
can
week,
vary.
1 week to 4 weeks.
Yes.
Okay. Now connecting it to the previous thing which we were discussing about the vision to OKR to backlog. Now from the backlog with the prioritization, you have created these 10-day sprints. Okay. So that's how the entire goal is now further broken down into sprint goals.
Yes.
Okay. And that's how you have sprint mission and then go through the 10-day sprint.
Yes.
So now you have retro. In the retros, typically what kind of problems you encountered in your company?
Good question. So majorly what happens is, again, team takes certain assumptions and they end up building a wrong product, or based on those assumptions they end up, and we see certain rejections during the demo. So stakeholders points out that this is not what it is expected. So first thing, either team should have, if they don't have a clarity, they should get it verified with the product owner. If product owner is not in a space to help out with the answers, they should get connected to the stakeholders and get that fixed before the sprint demo. So, or we can defer it for the next sprint is what we can say, because this was the feedback that we have got. So majorly that's the retro where we have seen there is a change in requirement. So teams comes up every time and says that there was a change in requirement. It was not change in requirement, it's change in understanding.
Yeah.
So that's the majorly what we have seen, and I've been seeing now also. Second, what I see is underestimating the stories. So when teams starts looking at the stories, it's not that they should look into the sprint backlog on the day one. So sprint backlogs should be ready prior to our day one. So they can have a glance, okay, this is the effort that I would need to keep to build this. If I need to create a new API, what are the dependent APIs, or what are the different rules that I have to build? Do I need to get it from a different application, or would that rules be residing in this application? So certain kind of a quick litmus test they have to do with those backlogs that they are picking up, so that they don't underestimate it. If, for an example, if a story that is supposed to go beyond a sprint can be sliced down, so that we can deliver the value that can be done in a one sprint, rather than not delivering it and keeping it in a backlog. So those are the two major items what I see.
Okay. So now just taking a lead from there. So during the sprint planning meeting, okay, let's say, do people raise their voice saying that, okay, this estimation is not correct? And what does product owner do in those meetings exactly?
Good question. These are really real-time questions that we see every day. What happens is product owner should try to understand both of their perspectives. So there might be certain reasons that we might be overlooking, and the other person might have that right perception there.
Yeah.
So for an example, understand what that developer is trying to say, connect with the data that is there, or try to validate if he might be wrong. You can get it validated through the architects or certain SMEs, get it validated, understand the other developer's perspective also, and see if he is missing out something. There might be something that a product owner might also miss out. So let's understand what they are trying to explain. That really helps product owner to decide what is the right amount of estimate we should go ahead. And there might be certain open items. Like for an example, I might not know, XYZ to deliver this. So if that is the case, let's defer that from this sprint, get the answers for XYZ, and then pick up in the next sprint. Let's not go with the assumptions. Always assumptions will overkill the team, and the frustration will get built up, because at the end, they have not delivered the product or value by the end of the sprint. So that's one thing that what I look.
Yeah, because this question comes from the fact that, it is supposed to be an open discussion where everybody has a say. And we have talked about the card and all of that. But I know, because I have worked in the industry, that when you have a senior person, product owner is senior person, and when you have a developer, there's a big gap in the hierarchy. So typically developers don't have that confidence to say you are not correct.
That is very valid point, Abhishek. We have to build that trust within the team. You have to, build that environment that teams can freely talk about if something is wrong. Your team should have a speak up culture. They should be open enough. That's where good products are built. If we don't nurture that culture within the team, it is very difficult to work with them in the long term. So we should give them the ability to talk about what are the goods and bads of, let's say I might be wrong. I am not saying that I might be 100% right. I might be wrong, and there are times that I was wrong, and team has corrected me. But at the end, our main focus is to deliver the vision. We should all align to the vision. So we should empower team that I am as a product owner, that's fine. But at the end of the day, you have to add value to the vision, right? The vision that we are trying to achieve can only be achieved if you add value in your deliverables.
Okay, so now coming back to product owner and the team and the developers, there is a business analyst also. Okay, so what do business analysts do exactly in this entire setup?
Okay, so business analyst, I can summarize that business analyst looks at how and what. However, product owner looks at why and whom. Right. So product owners' main goal is to identify why are we building, for whom are we building. Right. Business analyst looks at what needs to be built, how can we build. So they are looking at the nuts and the bolts of the requirement. So for an example, I have to build a payment page. So business analysts will focus on getting the requirements for that payment page, identifying the user stories, writing the acceptance criteria, making sure that everything is well written. Okay. However, product owners looks into it. Okay, what kind of a payment we are trying to process? Is it a card? Is it internet banking? Is it a UPI? He looks into it. Okay, I am a Zepto product owner, so I have to get all this, right? So he will look at the bigger aspect. Why are we building? For whom are we building? So let me take another analogy. Business analyst is a kind of a script writer for a movie, right? However, product owner is like a director. Business analyst focuses more on a clarity, what roles that each character should be playing, or what are the plots that needs to be executed. However, director looks at, okay, does this fit into the overall movie? Will this movie work in the box office or not? So that is how a product owner roles and responsibility is all about.
Yeah, I like that script writer this thing. So just taking it a step ahead. So how long is the script? Meaning, what kind of a documentation generally you see people doing nowadays in terms of stories and expansion of stories? Do we really create the prototypes and put it into a document? What happens?
Okay, so I started my days where I was writing the FRDs, BRDs, the long page documents, Literally, when I was into this, 1 month of my job, I was like, kya itna likhna hai mujhe? Can I explore at the other job avenues? I was just talking to my manager. He said, it's too early, give it some time. Even though if you're not liking it, then we can move on to the next steps. But yes, today, if I see, right, we are got rid of all those. So what we have is we do have prototypes. Prototypes or wireframes really helps us to help CX team to build the right UI UX that has been, because it's all visualizing. You might visualize something different versus what I can visualize, right? So to get everyone on the same page, that's where we have this prototyping or wireframes. That is really helpful. So we are doing wireframes prototyping these days, but we have got rid of FRDs, BRDs that we used to follow. What we have is user stories. So those are our, we have features, we have user stories. We document everything in Jira. We don't have, Microsoft Word documents these days. Everything is being stored in Jira. Everything, that is the source of truth. And right from the business stakeholders till the, developer looks at those Jira stories or Jira features or epics that have been written. And that really helps us to keep intact with the development that we are doing.
So generally in your organization right now, no FRD and SRS and those kind of documentation.
No. So
everything is in Jira.
Yeah. So even the API payloads is something that we write in Jira.
Okay.
And again, if we are going with a bigger project which spans across multiple years, we also have something called as Confluence. So we maintain, we give the high level vision, mission, what we are trying to achieve, what is the end goal, what are the benefit hypothesis. We give the overall intent that we are trying to deliver for as a part of this effort, and we document on a Confluence, and we give links to that respective Jiras. So for an example, if I have to build a new payment page, which feature is catering this, I just give the link of Jira feature and it's there. So it's visible on the Confluence as well.
Yeah. So documentation is not exactly the template based old arrangement.
Yes.
It is there, but it is in a particular tool.
In a more structured and
More
crisp,
accessible.
more accessible, crisp.
Yeah, correct. So since there is a lot of kind of vision and idea of what is the value, so how does the product owner, or somebody else, convey all of this to the team members? Because it's also important that everybody is aligned to that vision, as you said rightly. So does that kind of a training happen? How is it conveyed to the lowest level of team member?
So whenever we are trying to bring in new features or new development, right, the very first thing that a product owner should do is try to explain the end-to-end picture. Even though team doesn't understand, that's fine. Try to explain end-to-end. Don't come up with this is the feature that you have to build, or this is the user story you have to write. Explain them this is the end-to-end flow we are trying to implement or we are trying to build from the scratch. And these are the different features that we would be delivering as a part of this sprint or this PI, what we are talking about. And this is how this fits into this picture. Okay. So for an example, if I go and just say, build a payment page, right? They will not understand what kind of a users would be using it or what kind of a payment methods they would be using it. If I set the context, we have to build a grocery app for our Indian consumers. So we will have UPI payment as well. However, for the other countries consumers, we won't have the UPI payments.
Correct.
So whenever a product owner is trying to explain the backlog, try to connect it with the bigger picture. Explain team the whole picture and where does this item fit into that bigger picture. That is really important. And this has helped everyone whom I have worked, because so there were certain examples, like there were certain grads that joined our team. So I started my normal refinement sessions, talking to teams, identifying the backlogs, creating those user stories. So usually I start with explaining the end-to-end flows first, and then I start, okay, we have to build this element and this is fitting here. And I was shocked that a grad was able to contribute and point me out that you're missing these items. Can you please include this in our backlog? So So again, it is really important, no matter if it's a grad or a senior architect, but everyone should understand what they are building, for whom they are building, and why they are building.
Correct. So, product owner has a lot of things to do. One of the things which came to my mind is, let's say, for example, there is some performance expectation metrics, right? Million users simultaneously. So now this is an external team which is going to get into the picture. So does product owner coordinate this, or it is assigned to somebody else?
See, at the end, you own the product, and the performances is also something that you should be really bothered about. However, you can't run the whole show. You have to rely on someone or the data analyst to help you out with the performances. Come up with data. So let's say, for an example, you have 5 features in production, but the adoption rate of feature 1 is very less versus the adoption rate of feature 3 and 4. So these are the data elements that a data analyst would help you out with, and help you with the key metrics is there, and identify why users are having some trouble. Okay, so I'll just take one example, right? In From my previous job role, so in DST systems. So there was a you know there was a feature that was live in production, and we started getting n number of calls after we went live. So these were support calls. So these are little expensive because it's not a call center calls. It is to the uh, you know dedicated persons. They have to solve those problems for those particular clients. So what happened was, users were getting stuck at certain page, more number of users. So what I did is I went back and heard the call recordings. I saw the email conversations. I was sitting with my data team, and we were just looking where are users getting dropped, or where the flow is getting stuck. We found out that there were 2 certain fields where it was causing certain confusions to the users. Stakeholders recommended us keep a help guide so that we will get less number of calls people, but that was not the crux. We fixed those problems, we fixed those fields, we renamed it, we reused it. Again, there were other things that we have also done, but just for simplification, we just fixed those fields. And what happened is, once we went live with this fix, there was a drop in our calls. So there was like 60 to 70% drop in the calls that we received. So what we have to look is, data is also something that a product owner should also look at. Certain key metrics of the products are really important. See, every product owner might not get that opportunity, but you should understand, if you are not doing that, you should at least know what are the key metrics that will help you in your day-to-day avenues.
So, by talking to you about product owner, there are a lot of things which product owner looks at. Okay. So, what are the typical challenges for a product owner?
So what I see is, these days product owners has been treated as, majorly I will call it as scriber, or a ghost, or a boss. Okay. So again, when I say scriber, right, they just look at product owner who just this scribing of writing user stories and features. That's not the thing. He has more work to do. And I've seen certain product owners doing the same role, and that's not the right thing that they are doing. And I've helped them to come out of that state. So they think that only writing user stories and features is my job. No, that's not. You have to connect to the big picture, understand what value team is delivering. Every sprint, every item that you're delivering should add value to your customer or your end user. If it's not delivering value, don't take it. So there might be hundreds of things that they might be working, but leave out one important thing that is really important. In our case, in the previous example that I mentioned, Zepto, rider tracking, that was really important, right? So a product owner should not think or others should not think a product owner is always a scriber. So again, boss. So the boss analogy is, because product owner is a senior person, he owns the backlog, he is the boss. No, he's not. He's the collaborator. He should collab with the team, make sure that team understands what needs to be delivered as a part of it. He needs to help team day in day out if anything they are facing challenges with. Third is nothing but the ghost. The product owner appears on the sprint day 1. He just appears back on day 10 for demo. No. Product owner should be really present every time and he should be reachable to the teams.
Yeah.
Even though n number of things might be lined up on his plate, but you should be in a state that team is approaching you for every small thing. And you should help them out to get the value delivered at the end of the sprint.
Right. So now, next section where we talk about the career. Okay. So who can become a product owner, and how can they become a product owner?
Okay. Before we go there, I'll just talk about the key responsibilities of a product owner. So I have shortened it up for our users. It can be defined as an acronym DRIVE. So the key responsibilities can be taken as DRIVE. D stands for define or drive the vision. R stands for refine and rank the backlog. I stands for interacting with the stakeholders. V stands for validating the work that the team has done. E stands for evolving the product. Okay. So these are the key responsibilities of a product owner. How a product owner can act in each of this is for driving or defining the vision. You should have the visibility of the big picture.
Yeah.
Okay. You should understand what the big goal is. For refining the backlogs, right, or ranking the backlog, you should have courage to decide what will go next, what can go on hold. And if you have to have tough conversations with stakeholders, you should present it with the right set of data elements so that stakeholder is also convinced. They also understands what is more important at this point in time. So interacting with the stakeholders, again, during that you have to be empathy with your stakeholders or customers and a great listener as well. So for an example, if you just keep on talking, right, you will never get the solution or you will never find the solution. You have to listen right from the development team to your end customer and get into their shoes, understand what is the frustration that they are having with the product today.
Correct.
Right? Again, coming back to validating the work, right? They should wear the hat of a customer, show the customer obsessiveness. So like they should be the first customer to validate whether it's working as it is expected. Simple example is the search feature on Zepto, right? If I just type in noodles, I should get Maggi noodles, other noodles that are available in the market.
Correct.
Or let's say if I misspell something, like I just spell ATA, ATA, right? It should bring up all the results of ATA. It should not be specific that if you just write ATTA, then only the search will come up. So these are certain. So he is the first customer who is testing the product before it is delivered to the end customer. E is you should have the ability to, always learn. So that helps in evolving the product. If let's say if you are not aware of the key matrices, you should start looking into those avenues and see how these key matrices are performing for your product. So in a nutshell, there is no prerequisite. But if you have all these, in you, the decisiveness, the customer obsessionness, learning ability, then this is what I think a must for a product owner. There is no degree, nothing, that will help you. But there are certifications that will help you with the knowledge. But at the end, you should have all these qualities so that you become a product owner.
So drive I liked. The way you have created the acronym is very nice. Okay, and it actually summarizes all the key aspects of if you keep product owner at the center, these are like radials,
Yes.
5 radials going out. Very nicely put. So now let's say I'm a business analyst or somebody else. I want to become a product owner. Where do we start? And what could be the steps to become a product owner?
Okay, interesting question. I have been getting this in our Milaps also. So, see, product owner is not about title. I'll just be blunt enough. It's all about the mindset. And you will only get that mindset when you start thinking at the bigger picture. So there is a mindset shift. First, you have to you have to start from where you are today. So you don't need a title to be a product owner. Let's say if you are playing any role, or a QA role, or a developer role, or a business analyst role, or data analyst, any role, change yourself. Start thinking in a line of why are we building, instead of the very first question everyone comes up who is not into a product owner is what are the acceptance criteria. So don't ask those questions. Start thinking why are we building that, for whom are we building. So you can start where you are today and start implementing these concepts. Start looking from a how and what to why and whom are you building, what is this solving, what solution will help you to get to the end state. Look from those lens, right? Second thing is, again, you should learn how to convey your decisions with data. So for an example, I give an enabler story to a developer, and I just tell them to identify what are the best optimal solution out of these three we can present or integrate into our system. When they start digging into it, right, they should come up with data like, if we use option A, I think there are less chances. I might see like 30%, 40% adoption rate or increase of performance. If I go with option B, there might be a decrease in performance by 20% from current rate. Or option C, there might be 80% increase in the performance because so and so factors will help us to improvise the flow. So if we start talking in the data language, right, that will really help you to convince stakeholders. And that was a key responsibility of a product owner, to take a decision which which item should I pick up, or what solution should I look at to it, right? And certifications. So yeah, certifications will help you with the knowledge base. There are certain certifications that are available in the market. So we have SAFE certifications, which is APM, POPMs. We have CSPO. We have IIBA certification, CPOA. So yeah, so those are certifications. But certifications, as you always mention, Abhishek, right? These are just enablers.
Yeah.
They will help you with the knowledge to kickstart. However, that will until and unless you implement in your day-to-day life, you won't be get a fruitful outcome of it.
Yeah, it's more to do with the mindset.
Yes.
And the way you look at the whole thing rather than just the certification.
Yes.
Okay. That's an important part. Now, you mentioned Jira, where product owner and other team members work. Any other tool which be useful for POs?
Okay. The tools, those are interesting. There are many SASE tools available in the market, but I will recommend a product owner to, excel 3 to 5 skills or tools. Don't get too much attached with every new tool that is coming in the market. First is Jira. That is your day in, day out. That helps you to maintain your backlog, manage your backlog. There is something called as Jira Align that helps you to strategically plan the roadmap, running the programs. Jira Align is mostly useful in an organizations where safe frameworks are used or safe framework is adopted. We have something called as AHA, which is a product roadmap or strategic planning We have something called as Miro, so which helps you to define customer journey mapping. We also have similar to Zira, we have Azure DevOps, Trello, Asana. So these are certain
Similar
again,
kind of softwares.
yeah.
Yeah.
So similar kind of tools. Other tools, Figma is really helping these days in prototyping and wireframing. You don't have to learn each and every attribute. You should know how to build a raw, right? Visio, the it's famous right from back in those days till now, because it helps us you to create a good set of diagrams that really helps in day and out. Uh, there are some, yeah. So there is something called as Google Analytics that helps you with the performance. There is Pendo.io that really helps you to even get the user adoption rates and everything. Uh, yeah, these are certain set of rules, and there are many available in. But at the end, if a product owner needs to know how to create backlog, Jira, Azure DevOps, Trello, Asana, these are the crux. They should also know how the product roadmap is built. So we have something called as AHA. So that is really important. Second, third is understand how do you derive matrices like Google Analytics. So again, and there are many similar tools available. So try to learn those. And there is something called as analytics tools like Tableau, Power BI, which helps you to derive certain reports or derive certain matrices out of those. So, in a nutshell, these are must, is what I can say.
Okay. So now let's move to the last section about the career path. Okay. So once somebody has become a product owner, what kind of career paths are possible for product owners?
Interesting question. So again, I would segregate this into three parts. One career path is specialist. A product owner can be a specialist product owner. Second, I would derive it into a strategistic, which is nothing but moving from a product owner space to a product manager space or a business leader space. Third is the leadership or a coach. So I'll take this to our restaurant analogy, right? There was a mention about head chef, right? So head chef can become Michelin star cook, right? He can, if something is aspiring, or the energy that he gets in creating backlog, delivering it is more, then they can choose that path. It's all about your interest, how it comes up. If you think you can contribute more towards a product management space, which means you can do the competitive analysis, you can do all this profit loss maths, you can do other researches, try to see what your competitors are doing, your market analysis, all these things, then you can be a product manager. I can you know map it to like a owner of a restaurant. So a chef who is trying to build his own restaurant, he has now moved from kitchen to who is looking into the business operations, day to day marketing, everything, right? So I'll look at that aspect. uh, Third is the leadership coach. Leadership coach can be treated as a person, again the same restaurant analogy, a person who has multiple restaurants. He hire peoples like head chef, managers who manages both of them, and he has multiple outlets. So he's looking at the multiple outlets and getting the right set of guidance, giving the right set of guidance to the chefs as well as the business managers there. So these are the three career paths. All are equally important. Every role has its own benefits, and equally valuable. Okay.
Yeah, so people can choose based on what fits their aptitude and liking.
Yes.
Okay. So moving into any of these three directions, people, once they get into PO role, what should they kind of look for in terms of how do we move forward? For example, somebody wants to become a product manager or want to become a Michelin star, like SME kind of a thing. So let's talk about product manager. We recently had a big full episode. So let's talk about the SME part. Okay. So if somebody wants to become an SME, so is it domain SME only, or it could also be a product SME?
Good question. It can be both. So when you look at the product SMEs, right, they know in and out of the product. It might be a product like Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics. Example, SAP, they might be an expert in that, or an in-house product. So every organization might have their own in-house products, and you are the SME. So any change to that respective product needs to be routed through you. They would weigh in your value. So they should aspire for being that, understanding more aspects of the product, not only those product areas that they have been working, but each and every, right from the start till the end, they should know each and every crux of that product. So that's on the product side. However, domain, what really helps is how well we can use the product. So domain is also equally important. Until unless you get the right domain, you won't understand whether this product will fit in the set of users. For an example, if you are into a payments domain, right? So you should understand that the product I am using, will that really be useful in the payment domain, or should I look for some new avenues to get integrated? So those are equally important. If you are in a banking domain or any other domain, you should have the knowledge of domain as well. And that's where you become an SME, right? If you know end-to-end processes. I'm not saying that you should know complete banking. Maybe understand what core banking is all about, or get expertise on loan processing, how the Indian loans work, right? From initiation till the disbursement and till the closure of the loan. What is the loan life cycle? Get familiar with all those. Understand what are the different steps into each of them. That really helps.
Yeah. And what about the leadership coach transition?
Yeah. So leadership coaches are like head of product or VP of product. What happens is you try to recruit certain people like a product owner. Let's take an example, like you are a head of a product. You know what are the in day out of a product owner and a product manager. You understand what are their day out jobs. What you do is you recruit right set of people, you train them, or you help them to get to a state where they understand what are this drive functionalities and what are the qualities that will make them drive this vision. Okay. So that's how you can coach them. You can be a leadership coach. You can do a trainings kind of a thing. You can help people who are attaining certifications, help them explain these concepts. A new grad, explain them what product management is, because that's what the crux is of the leadership. So try to get into a training space or a coaching space, which will help them to route through the right channel.
Right. So last question, any bit of advice for people who wish to become a product owner? Any advice which you would like to give?
Bit of advice to product owner. I have two. First is love customer's problem, not the solution. So once you start empathizing customer's problem, that's where it will help you to build a right solution. Don't love your solution, because at the end of the day, you have to solve customer's problem and make their life easier. Nor customer has to adopt your solution, right? So that's one thing. Second is you should protect the vision of the product. Every decision that you take should get aligned to it, whether you are creating new backlogs, whether you are delivering values, every item should get aligned to the product vision. So same example, I guess, Zepto Go vision is to deliver in 10 minutes. They can't deliver refrigerator in 10 minutes. So again, which means they are not into that space.
Yeah.
So those are the two advices that I will give them if they are choosing a product owner space.
Yeah, that's well said. And just to conclude, if after listening to this episode, people want to know more about the career and want to connect with you, how can they connect?
They can connect me through LinkedIn, or they can reach out to me. I can help them to get right set of folks. So I'm lucky to be part of IIBA Mumbai Chapter. We have very senior folks who help, and we have been doing this.
Yeah.
They can reach out to me on LinkedIn. I can just share my LinkedIn ID and you can paste in the video. And I can try to connect them with the right set of folks.
All right. So thank you so much, Chaitanya. This was really a detailed discussion on product owner and its role. So thank you, everyone. Thank you for watching this episode. And we had a good discussion on every aspect of product owner, so to speak. So thanks for being part of this episode. We'll see you in the next episode. See you again. Bye-bye.